Bird Songs of Dooryard, Field and Forest, recorded by Jerry and Norma Stillwell. No wonder the cardinal is popular. He is a friendly dooryard bird with a variety of musical songs. His glides and crescendos rival a prima donna. The more simple songs of the cardinal remind us of the hear, hear call of the tufted titmouse. Here are scolding notes and another call of the titmouse. Now, the familiar Peter, Peter song of the tufted titmouse. A Carolina chickadee, southern equivalent of the black-capped chickadee, gives his dee-dee chatter. Compared to the Peter, Peter call of the titmouse, the Pito or Phoebe song of the chickadee is lower in volume and higher in pitch. 4 repetitions of the chickadee's Pito call at normal speed are now given, followed by 2 at half speed, to lower the pitch 1 octave.
Note that the chickadee whistles his Pito, whereas the Phoebe seems to say his name. The wood pewee does not pump his tail like the Phoebe as he draws his pewee. The northern crested flycatcher prefers woodlands. Some of his calls sound like derisive laughter. The yellowthroats are among our most abundant warblers, especially in thickets near water. Here is one variation of the typical witchety-witchety song of a Maryland yellowthroat. The song of the Kentucky warbler is a two-note phrase repeated about 6 times. The voice of the Kentucky warbler is shriller, and his accented notes are more emphatic than the two-note song of the Carolina wren. Typical songs of the Carolina wren consist of 2, 3, or 4-note phrases, each phrase repeated 3 or 4 times. They do not have as pronounced glides as the cardinal. Here are the sputtering trills of the Carolina wren and 4 of his songs.
In contrast to the Carolina wren, the songs of the Buick wren are higher in pitch, notes, the separate notes of which become audible when played at 1/2 speed. Here are 3 different songs of a Buick wren at normal speed, each followed by the same song at 1/2 speed, which reduces the pitch 1 octave. Most of the woodpeckers have characteristic calls. Here is the strong clee-up of the flicker, followed by his if, which is similar to certain calls of other woodpeckers. Here is a whickeraw conversation, and last, the prolonged spring call of the flicker. Here is a similar call and the rapid drumming of the nearly crow-sized pileated woodpecker. These calls are from a red-bellied woodpecker. The handsome red-headed woodpecker is a mischievous chatterbox.
The white-eyed vireo is partial to woodlands with brushy thickets. His notes are rapid, emphatic, and staccato. The red-eyed vireo says, "See me, over here, hear me," as he feeds leisurely through the treetops of village or forest. If the birds were to form an orchestra, the mourning dove would be the cello. The parasitic cowbirds perch in treetops while watching for nesting birds. Here are the high squeals and liquid gurgles of a male cowbird. Now the chatter of a female. And the two birds together. The clear, joyous songs of orchard orioles are heard in open country with scattered trees.
The meadowlark flirts his white outer tail feathers as he walks through the grass or sails across the pasture. Here are various songs and calls from the infinite variety of the eastern meadowlark. The yellow-breasted chat is something of a mimic as well as a clown. Here are typical clucks, whistles, and squeals from two yellow-breasted chats.
The catbird, brown thrasher, and mockingbird are well known as mimics, although each has many phrases of his own. The catbird meows his call note while hidden in the shrubbery, but often sings from the treetops. Each phrase of his song is usually different. Each phrase of the brown thrasher's varied song is usually given twice. The mockingbird is a fluent mimic and a musical acrobat. He often repeats his phrases several times. Song sparrows often begin their varied songs with 2 or 3 similar notes or phrases, followed by rapid notes of different pitches and qualities. Here are 4 song sparrows with a few notes from a bluebird near the end. Voices of lark sparrows and song sparrows are rather similar. The song sparrow has an occasional squeaky note. Listen now to the lark sparrow, who sometimes puts in a buzzy note.
The dick-sissel resembles a miniature meadowlark. In spring, his persistent dick-dick, sis-sis-sis is heard from every other fence post. The chipping and the field sparrows both wear rusty caps, but their songs are different. The chipping has only a simple trill. Each individual field sparrow may be recognized by his particular variation of the family song, 2 or 3 long notes followed by a trill. Here are 2 repetitions from each of 5 field sparrows. Songs of the pine wood sparrow usually begin with 1 long note followed by rapid notes, which may be either higher or lower in pitch.
The thicket-loving red-eyed towhee is sometimes called chwink because of his call note. These towhees have several ways of advising, drink your tea. The eastern goldfinch, often called wild canary, has varied songs. He may be recognized by two favorite phrases, a questioning chee and a chicory. The phrases of indigo bunting songs often occur in twos or threes, with changes in pitch and arrangement. Painted bunting songs are similar to the indigos, but the rapid notes of the painted are weaker and not as clearly separated. Compared with the buntings, the blue grosbeak's reedy warble is louder and slower.
Two calls of the bob white can be heard at a considerable distance, the first being his own name, which often becomes old bob white. The second call is known as the covey, scatter, or flock call, sometimes given with a hiccup. A third call, lower in volume, is called the caterwaul. Which is often delivered with tail and wing spread like a strutting turkey. Here is the familiar call of the eastern crow. The call of the fish crow is more abrupt and hoarse.
The yellow-billed cuckoo, nicknamed rain crow, is a shy woodland bird more often heard than seen. The notes of the blue jay vary from raucous screams to soft conversational chatter.
A white-breasted nuthatch gives his nasal yank-yank, followed by his more rapid spring song. Summer campers often claim that whippoorwills sing all night long. Note the low-voiced tuck, which precedes the whip by a fraction of a second. The whippoorwill has a southern cousin who calls himself Chuck-will-twiddle.
A typical call of the barred owl contains 8 notes, translated as "Who cooks for you? Who cooks for you?" A few calls of these 2 barred owls in Georgia end with "Who cooks for you all?" These purple martins live in Calabash Gorge, swinging from a pole on a Georgia plantation. The call of the summer tanager or summer redbird is a picket fence rattle. The songs of the summer tanager and the robin are similar. The tanager song is smoother and follows a more definite song pattern.
The cheerful though rather tuneless carols and giggling calls of the robin are heard in shaded dooryards. A rather indefinite warble now comes from the plaintive voice of the bluebird.
The wood thrush prefers deep shade under tall trees. His songs are tuneful melodies with bell-like tones. Many phrases end with high, faint tremolo notes like echoing overtones.